that.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. I mean, JD Vance, you didn't thank us enough. You know, I know you're in a war. I know your country's being bombed on a day in and day out basis. But, you know, my ego is really the most important thing here. And I just don't think you were nice enough. I mean, that's our approach to diplomacy. I mean, it's really embarrassing, not to mention the fact that Russia is the clear aggressor in Ukraine. Now, let me say there's sort of two possibilities here. One is that President Trump wants to get to a peace agreement, and he sees that continuing this war is dangerous for Ukraine and others, and he understands that we're not going to get there if we insist on maximalist demands on Ukraine's side. So he's trying to broker a deal, and if that's what he's trying to do, then that's not a terrible thing. That sure wasn't what came out in the Oval Office yesterday. And the second possibility is he's just trying to appease Russia. He just wants to, you know, do what Putin wants so that we can get along better with Russia. And if Putin wants to take Ukraine, Trump's gonna go all Neville Chamberlain on us and say, go ahead and take it. I know you're a good guy. I know everything will be fine after that. If that's what he's doing, that is incredibly dangerous for the United States and for Europe. If Putin feels empowered, he's not going to stop at Ukraine. He can easily put pressure on the Baltic states. He can put pressure on Moldova. So if we're going to get to the peace that Trump talks about, the U.S. and our partners and allies have to show some strength on the part of Ukraine, not just acquiescing to Russian demands, but to show them that we will also stand up and be strong enough so that he can't just roll over us. That's peace through strength.
Right. And also, I just want to say on the other side of this coin, there have been Republican lawmakers who have praised what took place at the Oval Office. And of course, that falls in with party lines. But we do have that. But I do want to get to the heart of the matter of that conversation, because it has to do with money, as we know, money to Ukraine. So it was obviously, I don't know if that was the right approach. We don't know how it's going to shake out, if they're going to come together. But when we take a look at the money that is going to Ukraine, and we talk about the money that needs to go to our border, who should be footing the bill for the money going to Ukraine? You know, right now we're taking a live look in London with Zelensky, Downing Street, where he is meeting, Zelensky is meeting with Britain's Prime Minister. So we're expecting that. We might get a tape playback from this meeting because he's moving on and he's going to be talking to other world leaders with this. So let's talk about the money and how is this going to shake out, and how should it happen in your eyes?
Well, first of all, I think it would help if President Trump stopped lying about that. The European Union, the European Union and our partners have spent more money helping Ukraine than we have. We've spent a lot, they spent as much, and no, the money that Europe has spent is not alone. So we have had a 54-nation strong partnership that has been doing this. It hasn't been America going it alone. In fact, as a percentage of GDP, we're like 14th or 15th in terms of how much money we've been putting in there compared to our partners and allies. But look, it's a legitimate question in terms of the fiscal health of this country. But that sort of brings us back a little bit to the Musk thing. You know, all the Republicans and Musk are saying we have to do this because the debt is such a problem. And then they just vote for a budget resolution last week that adds $2 trillion to the debt because they're in love with $4.5 or $9 trillion worth of tax cuts. I mean, if the debt is such a major problem, why are we doing $5, $6, $7 trillion in tax cuts in the middle of it? So, you know, it seems like the agenda is much more, excuse me, libertarian. Okay, you know, and I love the multi-billionaire libertarians.
What I was going to say, what about the gold card proposal?
Actually, I don't know that that's such a horrible idea. You know, if you want to bring people in, do that. I'm not against everything they're doing. I'm just against the illogical and stupid stuff that they're doing.
All right. Well, let's also just finish this with Trump's approach on what it will take to end the war, because that was part of the conversation as well. You know, what will it take? Is he, you know, on the right path in any way in your eyes?
In some ways, but he's missing one crucial piece. The crucial piece is security guarantees for Ukraine. And before everybody in your audience loses their mind, I'm not talking about the U.S. military or even any European militaries in Ukraine. Ukraine has proven very resilient on their own. I'm talking about promising to continue to provide them with arms and support, build security relationships, much like we have some security relationships with Israel, with Ukraine, so that they have security guarantees, so that Putin knows that he can't just take Ukraine by force, That is what forces Putin to the table. Now, Trump saying that Ukraine can't insist on taking everything back, that's part of pushing forward the conversation as well. But he's missing that key element of showing Putin that Ukraine will not be left completely defenseless and helpless.
Democratic Congressman from Washington, Adam Smith, we covered a lot of ground here. Thank you very much for your time today.
You did a great job. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And we want to get into this more with Republican strategist Neil Chatterjee.